Welcome back to the iRacing British Touring Car Championship. This is round 26 from Silverstone National with me, Chris Cohen, joined by Dan Blake in the commentary box. Evening, Dan.
Good evening, Chris. Nice to be here.
And it's the second of three races this evening here on BSR TV. We have a reverse grid in this race based on the results in the last race, which is going to mean that Reggie Blaine for Movie Go Racing is starting on pole position. He is sharing the front row of the grid with Simon Field this evening. And Simon Field is a driver who hasn't really had many opportunities to shine this season, Dan, but Reggie Blaine, after his performance in the last round, where do you think he can go with that pole position?
I think you'll find it tough to win because, as we said before, there's some very good drivers starting further back, and people like Ashley Sutton, as you said before, don't like being at the back. They try to go forward as much as possible, so I think we're in for another thrilling 16 laps of racing at Silverstone.
Well, Sutton starting 8th on the grid, and as you say, not one to be shy of the overtake, let's put it that way. He'll be keeping his eye on Stelian Chepelevsky, who came second, who started behind him on the grid in 9th place, because a little bit of an incident last race, Dan, in which Chepelevsky got in the back of Sutton and turned him round, and then there was kind of a concertina effect. About 3 cars behind also got involved from that point on.
Yeah, I think Sutton will be a bit wary of that as a driver. If something like that happens again, if you're in a similar situation, it can sometimes play on your mind, but I think these two are experienced enough to try and avoid such a situation.
Stefan Hug was your winner from the last race, the Team Bianco driver, qualifying on pole position. Nobody could beat his qualifying time, and he is second in the championship at the moment, as you can see on the screen. Third is his teammate Adam Terry, and Jamie Rushworth, who leads the championship, has a 25-point advantage going into that round, because these scores aren't updated per round. This is coming into this week's racing, so he will have lost 3 of those 25 points, so not too much to be concerned about. He's still got a 22-point cushion there, Dan, so he's going to be concentrating on finishing rather than winning this race, surely.
Yeah, but as you say that, those 3 points soon add up, and if he loses 3 points for the rest of the race, for the rest of the rounds of the championship, that'll be very, very close. I think Jamie Rushworth will be defensive, but at the same time I think he does still need to get as many points as he can.
Well, I tell you what, that would be an interesting finish, wouldn't it? Because if Hug were to win every single race and Rushworth were to come 4th in every single race, then in fact Rushworth would take the championship by 1 point. And we've had some close ones in the past, but never quite that close.
No, it'd be a great end to the season now at Brands Hatch, but it just shows that Jamie Rushworth isn't quite home and dry yet, and if one bad race from Jamie Rushworth, and that could throw the championship right open again.
It'll be very interesting to see how these drivers approach this next round, because, like you say, Rushworth doesn't need to force his way to the front. I don't think Sutton can do anything but that, because that's all he knows, and Hug seems to have more pace than anyone, except perhaps Chepelevsky, who was catching him. But then again, Chepelevsky is not the most aggressive overtaker, as we saw in the last round. You know, he could have gone all out, tried to get past, perhaps caused a crash, but he just held back a little bit at the end of the last round, Dan.
Yeah, he held back a lot more at the end compared to the middle stage of the race where he saw the contact with Ashley Sutton. But I think Ashley Sutton's a bit of a dark horse. He was running similar times to Stefan Hug. He was a couple of tenths quicker on some laps, so I think if Ashley Sutton can get up towards the front, I think he definitely will be a thorn in the side of the title contenders.
We're about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes away from going down to the grid now, and as always, very full grids in this series. Let's see, 33 drivers will be making their way onto the grid from this one. We haven't mentioned Russell Laidley yet, who got a very good 5th position from the last race, did extremely well, and he'll be starting 6th due to the reverse grid. Be curious to see where he can get to from there. He's obviously going to have some stiff competition behind, and maybe he can make a little buffer for himself if he gets a good start. But do you think, from the last race, we saw Ashley Sutton get bogged down off the grid? Do you think perhaps that might have contributed to him not finishing higher?
I think it is in a way, because if he had a better start, he might not have been in the same position, but you said about Russell Laidley earlier, I think he's another one who could potentially cause a bit of a problem for the title contenders being quick. So there's really 5-6 drivers who are quite in good contention to win this race, so be interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, Simon Field on the front row of the grid with Reggie Blaine, but Katz and Critchley had a good old battle last race and really tussled it out. Critchley came out on top, but those two will be starting side by side in 3rd and 4th position on the grid. And Richard Wilde as well. Richard Wilde will be starting 5th alongside Russell Laidler. And in some rounds of this tournament, championship, whatever you call it, Wilde has been the appropriate name for Richard. He is not known for being the best driver amongst traffic, Dan, but he's very quick when he's got some clean air.
Yeah, Richard Wilde, another one who's been in this championship for a long time, and drivers like that, people know what their previous are like and what their traits are, so people may drive accordingly when around Richard Wilde. As you said, sometimes his name maybe does sort of onto his track performance.
And that's an important point you raise, isn't it? Because a lot of these drivers have driven for all 4 seasons, perhaps 3 seasons together, and they know a lot about each other's driving styles, which means that they can race closer together because they're not likely to be caught by surprise when somebody makes a sudden move. And that should contribute, shouldn't it, to higher quality racing all round, like we see in this series very often.
Yeah, definitely, because even some of the newer guys to the championship are very, very quick in their own right. You said about Ashley Sutton being a MSA racer. Rusty Laidler's done some racing as well, I think. So some of these drivers have real-world experience to call on as well, and that can never be discounted.
Let's have a very brief look a little bit further down the grid, which we don't normally do, but we've got time to do it this time, about a minute till we grid up. And 11th downwards was not reversed, so wherever you finished in the last race outside the top 10 will be where you start in this race. So Brewstrom, Adam Terry didn't have the greatest race, so finished 12th in the last race, and Smolensky 13th, Baker 14th, expected him to finish higher than that, but perhaps struggling with this particular circuit. Very solid 15th for Steve Richardson, and then 16th Laura Bond, 17th Dan Hunt. And really, not a lot of surprises at the back. Occasionally we see people crash out and have to start the second race, unfortunately, quite a long way down. Not really seeing that this time round. Eckhart von Glan must have had a pretty awful race to be down there in 29th. But it's got to be quite daunting, hasn't it, Dan, to have 28 cars in front of you when you start a race and thinking, I've got to get past some of these somehow.
Yeah, it is quite daunting. I found out myself last weekend that you've seen a lot of cars in front of you, but also it can be an opportunity to gain some positions and have a bit of fun as well. So these drivers all won't be having a fun race, so starting further back can make it a bit more funner, of course.
Well, it's time to go down to the track now. Let's go grid side and watch these drivers lining up on this grid here. Reggie Blaine will lead them away. He has got that pole position in the green Movie Go Racing car. Simon Field is on the right in the black 888 engineering, I suppose, car. And then 3rd place on the grid is going to go to Andreas Katz, and we know he's fast, but can he get past the 2 guys in front of him without succumbing to the people behind Dan?
I think this first lap's go a bit more hectic than the first race. Matt Dalton said before it was very, very clean, but I think we might see a bit different story. But Andreas Katz is a champion, and so don't forget that. So I think he's somebody who may be able to push through, but we'll soon find out.
Well, last race I said that Andreas Katz has lost a little bit of his drive from last season. Matt Dalton disagreed with me, and I think it's going to come down to this. We're going to find out as the lights go on. Round 26 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship. Can Katz get a turbo start and launch himself down the inside of Reggie Blaine? We're about to find out. Reggie Blaine leads the field away. Richard Wilde lurking threateningly there in the background. Not the best start from Katz, and Critchley gets in the side of Katz already. Simon Field looks like he might maintain 2nd position as we go down into turn 1. 2 wide, most of the drivers. Everyone's through there cleanly so far, good to see. 2 of the Dyno Jets right near the back, but holding some steady pace there. Let's see where Katz has managed to get to. He's past Simon Field into 2nd place. Simon Field's looking to make the comeback. Oh, it gives him a little nudge from behind. Critchley's got collected as well. Everyone seems to survive there though, Dan.
Yeah, they go 3 wide down the back straight there. You got Rusty Laidler and Ashley Sutton with the car in the middle. And further back, there's a car into the wall. I see. I think it's one of the Bianco cars.
And who is that? Oh no, it's Laura Bond. Laura Bond with a huge amount of damage on that car. Maybe we can come back to that one in just a moment. We'll stay with the action at the front. And Field's down to 3rd, so Katz already making his mark on this race, and surely Reggie Blaine can't hold out for an entire race with a talent like that behind him. The German is surely too efficient, Dan.
I think he heard what Matt Dalton said before and has gone out to prove him wrong.
Well, let's go back and have
Better
another
judge of
look,
that.
see if we can see what happened to Laura Bond then. Just coming down into turn 2 there, side by side with one of the 888 machines. Everything's looking good at the moment. And then, oh, yeah, looks like she's just not aware of that 888 just to her side there. Gets clipped from the rear and rear ends the barrier at quite some pace. And that is going to be, for all intents and purposes, the end of Laura Bond's race. That was the number 12 machine.
I'm going to buff that out of you.
No, it's going to take a little bit more than that to get her back on the road, but I'm sure she's going to be alright.
Yeah, Andreas Katz going down the inside here of Reggie Blaine. He's taking the lead, so
Great move.
good move there from Andreas Katz, but there's 2 cars, Simon Field, and also, is that Ashley Sutton? Yeah, Ashley Sutton also in close proximity already.
Well, Sutton thought he might capitalise on that, but there were just too many cars in front of him. Does he go left? Does he go right? He had no opportunity there. Blaine losing out. Katz has the lead. Now is his chance to get away, because Blaine's arguably going to be the roadblock in this one, Matt.
He is. Ashley Sutton giving Simon a bit of a tap there as well. Back.
Oh, that's Russell Laidler. Must have got into some incident on the first lap. But,
Take a breath.
Oh, Blaine's off. Oh, good recovery from Blaine. I thought he was heading well into the barriers. Very well held.
And the puns continue.
And I think he might need a change of underpants after that one.
He was as cool as a man stood in a block of ice, wasn't he?
Now 3 wide. Rushworth, Critchley, Chepalewski going down.
Oh, that wasn't going to work, I don't think.
Another good save there though by Reggie Blaine. He's come out without losing a position, but Ashley Sutton and Simon Field are definitely racy behind him, that's for sure.
Well, Simon Field is on Ashley Sutton's left here. Has had to pull out of that one, so he's going to move into 4th position behind Sutton. Blaine is going to be under attack from one of the most aggressive overtakers. Here's Richard Wilde.
Yeah, that's Richard doing his usual and not wasting any time in going for an opportunity, is he?
Well, that's Russell Laidler in the middle of the pack. He's actually a back marker at this stage, so... Well, he is a quick back marker. I don't know if he might hold the others up.
Contact there between Sutton and Blaine's gone right across the track there, going into Maggot. So Ashley Sutton gained 2nd place. It's all him being the victim, but I think this time he's the offender in that corner.
Let's go back and have a look at that one on the replay straight away, because we were focused on Russell Laidler in the background.
Yeah, I think Ashley's just clipped the back of him there. He's missed his braking point and giving him a bit of a slap.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? The cameras didn't really show it very well, but let's go back and have another look from the gearbox cam on Reggie Blaine's Movie Go Racing mobile, if you like. Now, where is Sutton here? Because he just comes in. Yep, comes in as if from nowhere, and there is some contact on the back of his car. So it's unfortunate, but it's the 2nd time in a row that happened to Blaine. It's the first time round he did it himself, and the 2nd time round he had some help.
Yeah. Like I said, a little bit of a slap. That'll get him out of the way. Simon Field having a good run, mind you, isn't he? Richard Wilde's not climbing all over him too much, and
the field just starting to spread out. Well, not the Simon
well.
Field, but the field in general starting to spread out a little bit here. We have got. He is in 3rd position. Richard Wilde, like you say, is behind, but Kevin Critchley is over a second behind now. So, well, it might be because he's in an intense battle with would-be championship winner last season, Stelian Chepalewski.
Yeah, Stefan Hug again in front of Jamie Rushworth. There's 1 position between them, and they were rather close going down the lane to straight, but Hug seems to have pulled out a bit of advantage now, but he's got Stelian Chepalewski in front of him, but Hug is 7th and Rushworth is 8th.
Now here comes Sutton. He is on the attack. Can Katz keep him behind? Can Sutton honestly have more pace than last season's champion? Looks like he might well do here at the Silverstone National Circuit. He's got the home advantage, of course, England versus Germany and all that, but he wants to keep out of the back of Katz because that's what he did to Blaine, and he's made contact. Oh, Katz has gone wide. 2nd time in a row from Sutton.
Yeah, he's taking the taking the Jason Plato approach to overtaking this race, isn't he, Ashley?
Well, the driving standards people are going to be looking at him in some detail, the stewards, after that one, I think. Once maybe it was a mistake, 2nd time I think you've got to be a little bit more careful than that. But that's given 2nd place to Simon Field. The race lead is now with Ashley Sutton, and going on these lap times, Field's about 0.2 of a second slower per lap, so Sutton should be able to pull out an advantage from here, whether it was legitimately gained or not. Meanwhile, Katz has a problem in the form of Richard Wilde just behind him in the Welch Motorsport machine here as we reach about the halfway point. But yeah, Dan, that was not the best overtaking we've ever seen.
No, I think if Ashley Sutton did that in his real racing, he'd be in a bit of trouble. But as we see here, he's taking the lead. But Simon Field and Andreas Katz in a bit of a battle here. Richard Wilde, and I think this is going to allow Ashley Sutton maybe to pull away a bit if the cars behind him start battling.
Well, the gap now is 0.6 of a second after just one lap, so he's got quite some advantage already. Let's bring up those positions on your screen right now. So we reached the halfway point of the race. David Baker doing well to fight back into 10th position. Chepelevsky's just down there in 6th behind Kevin Critchley. Hoog 7th, but crucially, Matt, he's ahead of Jamie Rushworth and gaining points on him in the championship.
Yeah, crucially.
Okay, glad you switched on here. Ashley Sutton.
Is that Katz now coming up beyond Simon Field again? He's managed to regather himself and having a bit of a run again here, isn't he?
He is. He's now just behind Simon Field, but Wilde is quite close behind these two as well. So let's go on board with Richard Wilde, see what he's seeing, and get a feel for this Silverstone National Circuit. The 23 machine of Katz is right up in front here, and looking for a way past Simon Field. He'll be thinking, "Oh, Field's gone wide." Well, that's a gift, isn't it? He'll be thinking, "Thank you."
Yeah, Simon will be thinking, oh crap, I've just missed my break.
Well, Simon Field just missed his braking point, but maintains 4th position there. Didn't give up too much time. Did well to keep it out of the gravelly stuff. And now Sutton has a full 1 second advantage as Katz regains 2nd position. But Sutton is coming up amongst some traffic here, and crucially, that is Simon Field's teammate in one of the 888 machines. I'll try and get a number for you so we can confirm who that is. Letting Ashley Sutton through, in fact. I thought there might have been some team strategy going on there, and that's Nick McCarron.
Nick McCarron in number 18.
Thanks for that one, Dan. And Katz is falling behind even further, so 1.3 seconds is the gap now. So it looks like, wow, a bit of an attack there from Richard Wilde, but it looks like Ashley Sutton might well run away with this one, Matt.
It certainly looks like he's made a break for it, doesn't he? Whether the other guys have decided to let him go because they don't want to be punted off or not, I don't know, but whatever seems to work for him. It's a cracking battle for second, though, isn't it?
It really is. Field, after his earlier mistake, certainly hasn't given up on the chances of moving even higher up the scoreboard. Katz really doesn't seem to have an advantage over Richard Wilde, and that's not something I expected to say, especially not during the course of last season where we saw him dominate.
No, I still think if anybody ever manages in this series to do a 3... Has anybody done the triple yet and won all 3?
No, in 4 seasons of racing, almost 4 complete seasons, we've never had somebody win all 3 races. And of course it's now even harder, because last season was 1 reverse grid, but this season is 2. Which means you need to qualify first, you need to win a race from 10th position, and you need to win another race from 10th position, which no one has done yet, and I think you need quite a lot of luck on your side, even if you are the likes of Stelian Chepelevsky or Jamie Rushworth.
I reckon Ash Sutton is the one that's going to do it, because he's the most aggressive overtaker.
Well, it certainly helps, doesn't it? I mean, he kind of made his own luck in this race, if you like. His gap is now 1.4 seconds over Andreas Katz, so still pulling out a gap, because Katz is still involved in this battle, and he's got one eye on his mirror. That's Richard Wilde. And look at Critchley, Chepelevsky and Hoog. They are closing on the back of that group, so it's now a 6-way battle that we've got on our hands for second place. And in fact, Richard Wilde goes a little bit wide. He's going to let Simon Field through, I think. Critchley's coming up the outside as well. Chepelevsky is a little bit too far back.
Because Wilde will have the inside for the next corner here, so if Simon Field wants it, he's going to have to go the long way round here.
Well, the cutback is always possible for Simon Field. It's always a good move in this position. Will he go for it this time? The answer is going to be no. Has he left the door open for Critchley? No. And cutback almost worked for Simon Field, but Wilde had covered the inside line there. Damn, we've got a cracking prospect for a very close finish at the end of this race. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and also something I've noticed is that Jamie Rushworth seems to have backed off this pack because he was one with the likes of Chepelevsky and Hug, but he seems to have dropped off a little bit, maybe thinking of the championship.
Yeah, well, he's still behind Stefan Hug, but he's not really in the battle.
I have a sneaky that going into the last corner just now that Stelian Chepelevsky and Stefan Hug got together a little bit, because the two of them have got some rather crinkled looking Kias out there at the minute. Certainly going to need that 7-year warranty for all the bodywork damage.
Well, I'm not sure in the racing context they would fulfil that warranty, although you could always phone and ask, I suppose. Some of these drivers might need to after this as well. You can just see the bent bodywork if you're watching in glorious HD here on BSR TV of Stefan Hug with the green mirrors just behind. And an update on Laura Bond. She's only managed to get back to 30th position out of 33. The only driver to drop out of this race so far is a newcomer, the privateer Billy Piggott, who we've lost, but everyone else still going round, so keeping it in one piece. And Richard Wilde is looking more and more dangerous on the back of that eBay machine belonging to Andreas Katz, isn't he, Dan?
The day that Richard doesn't look dangerous will be an interesting one.
But Simon Field now tap there to Richard Wilde. Richard Wilde has kept it, but also Critchley and Chepelevsky are going to get past as well.
We paint him as the villain, but he's not. He's the victim.
Oh, contact in the background. Big impact for Critchley.
Mullered by Chepelevsky there.
Absolutely demolished. Kevin Critchley is out of that one. That's a good time for my mouse to go wrong, isn't it? Let's have another look at that one on board with Kevin Critchley.
Now Hug's getting stuck in as well. Yeah. Chepelevsky has gone past and going to try and make a move here on Simon Field. The way he is at the moment, Hug will actually have the inside line for Copse, but he hasn't had the move completed, I think, before we even get there. He's on the inside, but Stefan Hug has decided now this is the time to check some more points towards the championship.
Field's going to keep it in there, though. He's going to hang him out round the outside.
Well, on your screen now is this battle for 4th place. Simon Field is currently winning that one, but with the loss of Kevin Critchley, everyone's moved up one position, haven't they?
Yeah, and Simon is really hanging it out here. And to be fair, he's been away for a few weeks. He's had a new house move and everything to get done. So, we expect a little bit of ring rust, but he's having a really good run in this race.
Gone wide again, though. He has gone wide once again.
I'm going to stop talking about him because it's not fair. But
side by side now with Stefan Hug. This could be big because Hug needs as many points as possible. Oh, Chepelevsky down the inside. Fantastic move from Chepelevsky. Cheeky Cheppy indeed. Dan, that was absolutely unbelievable.
A great move.
Rushworth's having a go as well.
It's gone past Hug, so Jamie Rushworth's gone past the man who needs to be ahead. But as you said before, curse the commentator maybe, very clean racing there. There's no door banging in the slightest. Although Simon Field's gone wide there, and they are 3 wide going into maggots nearly.
No, it's not going to work.
Well, Field still has it from Hug behind and Rushworth, and Chepelevsky was one of the cheekiest overtaking manoeuvres I've ever seen on iRacing, perhaps. Those two were already too wide on what is not the widest piece of track available, but that moves him into 4th place, and after his 2nd place in the last race, he's going to get a good points haul out of this one. We were talking about the battle between... Oh, and Hickson gets out of the way again, good for him. We were talking about the battle before between Rushworth and Hug up at the top, but watch out, Chepelevsky might well be in with a good shout as well by the end of the 3 rounds, depending on how he does in the last one. Now we're on the final lap, and Ashley Sutton has a 2-second advantage, so it looks like it's Sutton's race, Dan.
Yeah, there's no sort of... you won't get that taken away, or was there a sort of a steward process, because they're a bit naughty, a couple of those moves, but he's going to take the lead for now. But Andreas Katz has pulled away from these battling through. It's now 1.7 ahead, so Andreas Katz pulled away from them, but this battle for 3rd I think is going to be hotting up before we get to the line. Well,
there's still 4 cars, aren't there? Absolutely fascinating battle.
You've got 3 guys in that battle who are in the championship hunt, and 1 guy who really isn't and just is there for a laugh. So you've got to think that the 3 who are...
Chepelevsky almost lost it, sorry Matt.
Yeah, the 3 who've got the most to lose, none of them are Simon, so...
Well, Simon Field is currently 5th in this pack. Well, he's 2nd in the pack, but he's 5th overall. So, across the line, Ashley Sutton wins the race, Katz 2nd, Wild third. Chepalevsky's going to get it from Simon Field by the skin of his teeth, and Hoog 6th. Rushworth 7th. Almost out of breath after that one. That was phenomenal racing from all involved.
Yeah, great racing there. A lot of respect shown between them as well. Not much contact, so a big round of applause to those guys. Very good, clean and fun racing to watch.
And crucially, we didn't focus on him very much in that race, but Adam Terry managed to sneak his way up from 12th to 8th amongst some tough competition, which puts him in the reverse grid right near the front. So don't rule out Adam Terry in the championship just yet. Solid haul of 53 points there. But yeah, that podium is of course going to be reversed. Those 10 positions in fact are going to be reversed, and the third race will start with another MovieGo Racing driver on pole position in the form of Linus Brustrom, who brought it home in 10th position. Unfortunate for Reggie Blaine though. We really thought he was going to do alright off the pole position, and where is he? 13th. So some tough racing out there for Reggie Blaine, Matt.
Yeah, it's not easy when you've got everybody trying to bait you. I suppose it's I'm running out of puns now. I'll be honest. Poor Reggie. Poor Reggie's never going to forgive me, is he?
And yeah, do put it in the
find
comments if
somebody
you
else.
actually get one of Matt's jokes. If you just note that in the YouTube comments, we'll have a little tally after the evening's racing, and yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to try and find somebody else to pick on. Where's Billy Piggott? He's see if he can give some abuse or something. I don't know. We'll find somebody.
well, 2 races down, boys. That was pretty phenomenal. Can we top that in the third race, Dan?
I think we will, to be honest. I know that was a fantastic race, but I feel there might still be more to come from these guys and girls.
Well, we're about to find out, because round 27 is going to be coming your way at 10:10 live on BSR TV, the final round of the evening. Another reverse grid poll, and if you're watching the recorded version, you just need to click onto the next video, or if you're watching the live version, you still need to do the same thing, to be honest. But from me and Dan and Matt in the commentary box, we will see you in just a minute.